Thank you for your very kind words about these posts about my dear mom and how she took care of us in the 1960s after my dad abandoned us little elementary kids, the six of us Zockles, during that time and left no money. I'm going to continue on. And a lot of people say, did you learn stuff from your mom as well? Yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Let me share something with you. I just got off the phone about 15 minutes ago with my older sister, sibling of mine. She's a seamstress up in Delaware, to verify this, to say, under the danger of embellishment, am I missing anything from my memory? We had a long talk about this, and so now I can faithfully tell you this story here is absolutely true, an answer to prayer. Mom had us all sit down one evening. As I told you, the food was less and less. I do recall one time that my oldest brother, who was 12 at that time, was standing there with his spider bike. And like I said, we lived 2 to 3 miles out of town. She went over, and I happened to come by as we were all standing there, and she poured a bunch of pennies and nickels in his hand and said, go into town, get a box of macaroni. Bruce, don't lose any of this. And I quote, that's all the money we have in the house. He took it, and then he was gone. About an hour later, he came back with that box. I mean, that's how tight it was. We're all sitting down, and the two littlest ones, she got them out of earshot, and she said to us, we need to pray. There's no food in the house whatsoever. I need you to pray right now. And as you go out to play today, keep in prayer that the Lord would bring food. We just don't know where else to go. And during that time, within the hour, my brother and I, Brent, my next oldest brother, and I went out back with the littlest ones to go find something for them to play around or something like that. And then we're called in almost immediately after that, maybe 15 minutes or so. And I come in, my mom's crying and my sister's crying. And I'm thinking something's wrong, or maybe they've been injured. And she sits us down and she says, I want you to remember this. She says, we have been praying and we have no idea where your father is. We have no idea when we'll ever get a hold of him. But in our prayer, we had somebody come to the house. Now, I want you to understand this. We lived in a country house outside of Hershey, Pennsylvania. You didn't kind of go by our house. You had to want to know where we were. We were out of the way. And we had a long front walk way up. And some people came up, and so when they knocked on the door, my mom was really thrown by this because people just didn't come and visit us. Are you Mrs. Zockel? Husband and wife. And they're carrying something. And she said, yes. And they said, we are so glad to be able to get a hold of you because I think there's been a clerical error. Now, this is in April when they came. They said, last October, your family entered our local civic parade. And there was like a Fall Fest parade, kind of like a Halloween, between Halloween and Thanksgiving. Those from Hershey from back then will remember this. And the town all came out, very civic, a lot of fun. And anybody could enter. And my mom, really, to give us some joy and some activity, believe it or not, she made clown costumes for all of us elementary kids, put us in the parade. She stayed out, but my oldest brother at the time, I think he was 12, he was old enough to take care of us, and it was very safe. And the sides of the road, there was lots of people. It's kind of exciting. And Mom had the idea. All of us were dressed as clown, and my oldest brother, 12, would pull the two littlest ones, who were too small to walk at that time, put them in the back of a little red wagon and put a sign on either side saying, nuts for sale. Okay, that was the representatives there talking about that parade. They said, you entered the parade as the Zockel family, and you won a prize. You didn't win first or second or anything like that, but you did win a prize, and I think maybe we misspelled your name, but we finally found you. I'm going to give you the prize. Are you ready for this? They came in with 4 huge bags of groceries, a month's worth of groceries. Congratulations. And my mom just started crying, and these people were kind of confused whenever they left. She brought us in, and she says, I want you to remember this. The Lord answers prayers. We were praying for a month's worth of groceries till Dad might come around, and that's exactly within the hour that we prayed what came to our door. It's hard to believe, and if it weren't for the verification of my siblings, I could hardly believe it myself. But I always remember this. What kept us together was our dear Lord and a very, very loving, praying mom.